Sweetie.
Hello, everybody. I am Sun Psychic Jean, and please welcome my very special co host, Mark, Spirit Whisperer Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hi, you guys. Hi, everybody. Hi, Jean.
Happy Saturday, everybody. Look at this green jewels I have it as our background. I hope everybody likes it. I'm very much in the nature mood today. I have Mark, the Spirit Whisperer, here with me right now. And then later on today, I will have Daphne Gilman, and we're going to be connecting with the spirit of tree. And particularly, I'm going to be connecting with oak tree. That's one of my favorites, and I have a beautiful presentation. And we're going to be going through a little exercise together, and it's all Nature Day. So I thought this green would be appropriate in the background.
June 1st. I can't believe we're already into June.
Yep, it's Pride Month for everybody, and there's all kinds of parades, all kinds of celebrations and festivities around my area, and I'm sure around yours as well. So, can you believe June's here already? How lovely.
Yep.
I was just talking to Mark a little bit about his animal stories, and we were looking back on his playlist. You can find Mark's animal stories on his playlist, and he's going to be popping some of them into the community page for you to watch again. And I'm going to show him how to do that, and it just helps you to find them so that. There's a couple of them that we were talking about. He said one of his chimpanzees was named Gene.
It was funny because I was thinking about that last night for some reason, and I was going to tell you that. And then you started talking about the animal stories today. It was so interesting. Because I thought, I don't think I ever told Jean that one of my baby chimps' name was Jean. Isn't that weird? That was my mental thoughts last night. I go, oh, I got to remember to tell Jean that because I never have told her. And
Absolutely, absolutely. Welcome, everybody. I see Viviani is here, Eileen, Craig, Amelia. Hi, Amelia. And Craig, I got your question. Amanda's here. Hi, Amanda. Jessica Lynn is here. And Wiki is here. Hi, Wiki. Nice to see you. And CJ, nice to see you. And we're going to be answering questions today. If you have any questions regarding your loved ones who have crossed over, your pets who have crossed over, spirit guides, angels. If you have questions about things that are going bump in the night, anything about that. Okay. And oh, wow. So CJ is saying that, may I ask if there are some new cats coming towards me? Will I be able to financially support them? Oh, CJ, are those your cats there? Or um, do you know, Mark, if that is your
I don't know.
current cats?
No, I'm not sure. I don't think I've read for CJ. They might say different, but I get confused.
Mm-hmm. I know, especially with initials. Those cats have passed. I see. Okay, thanks. Hi, Granny. Nice to see you, Granny B 1961. Thank you, Viviani is letting everybody know. Post your questions in all caps. I'll click on anything in caps. That's for sure. Um, very nice. Very nice. And oh shoot, did I take that down? Where's CJ's? Here. She says, may I ask if there's any new cats coming my way? Oh.
Do you want to read on that?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and see if there's any cats coming towards CJ. So I feel as though you'll move to pasta and hot dogs to take care of these cats. Is it in CJ's highest good to take on another kitten, another cat? As it yeah. Is it in CJ's highest good to take on more than one cat? No. Is it in CJ's highest good to oh, Was it the vet bills that got you on the last ones? I think that is really, um, that is where a lot of the expense comes in. Taking care of them, making sure they're healthy, getting, sometimes they have digestive or different issues that they need to see the vet a little more. Is is it in CJ's highest good to adopt another cat? I'm getting a yes. Will she be able to be financially stable and while having this cat? Yes. Will this cat be as expensive as the last cats? I'm getting a no. How about you, Mark?
Um, CJ, yes, they had digestive issues. Okay. So are you currently catless? I know you said that those are both cats that passed. So that means you don't have any cats right now? I'm just curious. I kind of feel like that's true, but I like to double check. Um, less cats, less. What? Do you have cats now? First of all, I want to say this a little message, just in general from the universe. Um, catless. Oh, gotcha. I get it now. Yes, catless. It took me a while on my brain. Um, so I ask you that on purpose, and I'll let you know. But first and foremost, for everybody out there, you can ask the universe too and say, "Don't give me more than I can handle." Like no one person has to take care of all the cats. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we'll get ourselves into a pickle that because we want to take care of everybody, but that isn't necessarily the journey you have to go on. So sometimes you have to say, universe, give me that which I can care for, but I don't want to go beyond that. I had to kind of, because for a while there, all the strays are ending up at my house, and I can only do so much. And plus back at that time I was working full time, I had a house full. I can just take care of all the stray. It's just I can't. And I had to sort of say, well, we need to, don't send me all the strays. Because I knew I was open to it there. So I had to kind of put a little bit of a close the door down a little bit. Now that doesn't mean I wasn't still wishing them for their highest good and someone else, but that job is shared amongst us. We all have some responsibility in taking care of the earth and the animals, and we all do what we're able to do. But that doesn't mean one person has to take care of 400 cats, and I've had clients where they've just gotten so, it's just, and it's from love and it's good intentions, but you also need to kind of know to set boundaries and limits so that you still have a home and dinner and, you don't want to let it get away from you. And remember, it's your choice. And it's not your job to take care of everything. You know what I mean? We do what we're able to and move on. Anyway, having said all that big old story, I do feel like there's a cat coming. I'm hearing a cat rather than a pack of cats. I feel like, because I get this card every single time, that it's assertive, take your place at the table, that it's one of the ones you've lost returning. I always get this when they're thinking about coming back to where they were before. So that's usually a sign of reincarnation. It feels like a cat, another little kitty cat. I think that's going to be shown to you. But the other thing I get is accept, receive the gift. So it feels like one family on the pride. So it's already connected. It's returning to the family that it was in already. So I don't know the names of those other kitties, but it feels like it's probably one of those in the picture. I can't see the picture very well. So that's my thought. So, when I say something like that and you go, oh, that's interesting, Mark, how does that happen? Well, you talk it over with the universe, with God, the creator, whatever you like to call it. Kind of make the little deal with your kitty cat. Then you look for it. That seek and you'll find. So you put that in your consciousness that I'm going to be on the lookout for a sign from the universe that this is coming to be. So, look for evidence. I always say this. I was going to make this speech today on my other channel. Look for evidence of God in your life. That's how you find it. If you're not really looking for God in your life, you might not see it. You still can, but you'll see it a lot more if you're actually looking for it. So when I make that kind of a thing with a past pet, and I've decided we're going to do this creation and we're going to work on it together, then I start looking for evidence of it. Now, that doesn't mean that's all I do. I still go on with my life. I do everything I have to do, but that's there in my brain that I got my little feelers, my little lookers out so that I catch it when the universe sends me a sign. And then you get better and better at that because I'm looking for evidence of the universe working in my life, and I tend to see it a lot more anyway. So that's what I think is going to go on, CJ, and it feels soon. I think it's why you asked us that today. Anyway.
I think it's an answer to her prayers, and I feel as though you feel as though something's missing. It's the companionship and the love and it gives us not purpose in life, but it gives us, something else to look after, something else to look over or to watch, to take care of. And there's just this nurturing gene or nurturing energy within us that is needing to do that. But all the best to you, CJ. And I think that I feel this very loving vibration going to be coming back to you, and you're going to your soul's going to recognize the energy, and you two are going to get along just like you've known each other your whole lives. So,
and it's
all the best.
A part of your story that, I had this cat that returned to me. That becomes a part of your truth and your reality and your story. Anyway.
Yeah. So I just wanted to pop this up. I thought this was very interesting. Pat Carlson said, last year, Mark read for me on a cat, Callie, who disappeared on me. She was gone 1.5 years. Mark told me that she was alive and helping a little girl. Callie now comes home every day to eat.
Aha. Look how long ago that was.
But she growls the whole time she's here. My neighbors have had her. She goes there every night. Why? Interesting.
Did your neighbors have a kid? I'm curious. Of course, I don't remember the reading. And what was her? Oh, the cat's name is Callie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Callie. Well, it feels like her job's not quite done with this other family. So I feel like she can't quite move back or something.
They do have a little girl.
Oh, they do? Okay. Yes, they do. A little girl. Yeah. Well, of course, that was Pan saying all that because I have no way of knowing, but it seems like he was right on. He's doing that more and more and more. Anyway, I feel like he's still working with that little girl. It's almost like that was his mission or something. He's not quite done. He still wanted you to know that he's here, he's alive. It's interesting because all of a sudden you found out all of that. And he knows you've thought about it. So in a way, it was like help, letting you find out the story. But I don't think he's quite done with that little girl. It's interesting how you live next door. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's almost like you served as what is it? He had to be there in place, ready and ready to do it, but you were sort of I can't think of the right word, like the takeoff point or something. So you helped him create a firm foundation so that he was able to go and do this with her. Interesting.
I don't think that other family would have gotten a cat otherwise.
Yeah.
You know,
interesting. Yeah. Neighbors
you were the surrogate. Is it a surrogate? I kind of feel like maybe the cat came to Pat, so that the other family would, happen upon the cat. But the cat, I think his is at you just so that you don't. It's almost for your own benefit. I feel like the cat is hissing at you because they're like, no, I'm not ready to come back yet. I still have a job to do. You can't love me yet. I'll be back later.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Pat
said they kidnapped her, didn't let her out. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know that they knew that. Did they know that?
I don't know. It's interesting. I still get a definite energy about that kid. That it's something about that little girl. I still feel that pretty strongly, like she needed the energy. And maybe they wouldn't have ever gotten a cat. It feels like they thought they were rescuing her or something like that. I don't think that they were deliberately trying to steal her. Although, I don't know. I think the kid loved her. But in a way, they did kind of keep her hidden there from you, like with the door closed where she couldn't get out. But that bond happened. And I feel like the bond was between her and the little girl. And for some reason, that little girl needed that energy right now. So it's interesting that you provided them with the cat. But I don't think, like, she would come back, but I don't think her job is done with this girl. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they set out to steal your cat. It was more in their mind. Oh, look, there's this cat. I really think that little girl really, really wanted one. I think the little girl had a lot to do with it. She's helping that little girl energetically. There's some healing or some kind of, I don't know. The little girl might be, I feel like this little kitty helps to pull her energy in and calm it. It's a calming influence. That helps this little girl. It's like, you know how a lot of kids these days are, I don't want to say on the spectrum, but they're overly stimulated. Is that a good thing? Almost where they can't help it. And this feels like that energy to me, and her helping her pull it in. I don't know why they're sharing all that. But.
She said that peeking cat that was peeking out of the zipper looked like Callie.
Yeah, because that did give me her saying that she was kept in, So it wasn't like Callie was trying to get away from you, but then it was like the job took hold, sort of, her mission. She's grateful to you, though. She still, of course, likes you guys. That hissing isn't really, I don't like you. It's more that I got this job now. I I got to go back to work, kind of a thing.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
that is so sweet, Pat. Oh my gosh.
That would
Oh
be
my
hard for me,
gosh.
though. My cat disappeared, and then a year and a half, I found out it was at the neighbor's house.
But isn't that lovely that you know that Callie is okay now? Like the only thing you wanted was to make sure she wasn't hurt or suffering or lost or, but she was taken care of all this time, and that she came back to let you know that she was okay in her own time and in spirit time, it's really important to hang on to hope. And we have this instant gratification or instant knowing that we all demand, but spirit will reveal itself in the right time, and typically it's when we least expect it. But that was really beautiful. What a beautiful story, Pat. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, and everybody is really loving the information. And thank you, Mark, for your amazing readings, and to have that validation from that long ago to come up. That's
I know.
amazing.
Look, now she gets to see her every day. Yeah, because she comes over there to sneak snacks. Of course, you could get another cat too. That's an interesting story. But I feel a lot of gratitude from her. And again, she wasn't leaving you. It isn't really about you. Like you didn't do anything that would make her want to leave. She wasn't trying to get away. This is one of those things kind of where the universe put her where she needed to be and work. It's really for that little girl is what I get. And sometimes you just have to kind of trust in that. I don't know. He's really insisting that's what it is. A couple of days ago, I got an email because somebody had a tornado and then their cat got out and was gone, and they were all and it was in another state. But I kept seeing. I didn't get the email right away. That's sometimes why it's not good to send me an email, because I don't always get them as fast as you might like me to. So when I got it, I thought, oh, I think they found her. But I thought, but in case you didn't, she's right there at the house. She hasn't gone far. And I kept having to say, she's right at the house. It's like, I want to say outside, but not really. So it's kind of like outside and inside. I can't really say, she's so close. She can hear you if you call her. So call her. She can hear you. I can't really say it's outside, but I can't really say it's inside. Well, anyway, I got the thing back. Oh, you're right. She was under the stairway in the building, the outside stairway. So she wasn't like outside as in away, and, she was still right there at the building, but I couldn't technically say she was in. So, it was so weird how Pam kept saying, well, I don't want to say inside the building, but I don't want to say she's. So that was really interesting. I love that kind of confirmation, because honestly, Mark does not know anything. So, I would only have to make that up, and I don't, for one thing, I'm not good at that. And plus I would never do that. But it just always amazes me, and they'll be so insistent on some. I just kept kind of saying, well, can I say that it's just right outside the building? He goes, no, I want you to say that it's neither outside or inside. And he goes, she'll know what that means. And then, of course, they did anyway. So funny.
Wow. That's amazing. That is amazing. So I have Blessed 1111 has a quick question here. Then after Blessed 1111, I see Kelly Paul. You'll be next. And then after Kelly Paul is Lisa Keller. And I'm just choosing randomly, and I'm trying to go with the energy so that we can move along, everybody. And thank you, everybody, for your questions.
I'm going to talk less, move faster.
No, that's okay. I am just wanted to let everybody know who is next. Oh, my son, Braden. Yeah, I'm going right to my pendulum.
I hear yes. The pendulum says yes. and I pulled one card that says, I can do it, trust. So I'm going to say yes. I like that date. June 22nd, too, is a good date. I'm going to say yes. Take the leap. Don't be afraid. Go ahead, take the test. You're going to do fine. What'd you get?
I got a yes, and I don't know if it's a pass or fail or if it's a higher score. I feel like he'll just make it. He'll definitely pass, but it's not an easy test, and it's not like logical or intuitive. You have to. It's almost like you have to really read the questions. Like if the train comes into the station at 4:58 a.m., how many cats does it have? It's like, what? You know, like it's just some of the questions are a little difficult that you really have to think it through and read it through. I think of the way the questions are asked or the way it's presented to you, you have to kind of know, they'll give you like I just feel like there's like a scenario or a way that they ask, and it's not easy. It's not like does this equal this? Yes or no. It's a little bit more involved, and it's not an easy test. So, but I think the more relaxed he is, the better off he'll do, and that's with anything. Um, but I do see him definitely getting a passing score. But after he does pass, he'll be like, "Ooh, that wasn't easy," you
Yeah,
know.
but I think he'll be happy he did it. Kind of the fear of it's worse than the actual thing, even though, any test doesn't mean a lot. But it's sort of the apprehension and the, oh man, maybe. But Spirit says, go ahead, jump for it, take the leap. You can do it. See how this card, it's great because it has a T, but the T got knocked off into the water.
Oh yeah.
He went ahead and did it, even with that little doubt or worry. Trust, take the leap. You can do it. And I think he will. And I think he'll be happy that he went ahead and did the test this time and didn't put it off until another time.
Absolutely. And Kelly Paul has a quick question here. She says, I'm getting close to retirement in California and want to buy a house. Prices are crazy. Will I buy a nice place and when?
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to buy your own place, but I think it may be like a condo or a shared living kind of a place where you won't be paying rent, you'll be paying mortgage. But it's set up like a community, like it'll have amenities to it and it'll have features and, um, so I'm feeling a little bit more like a condo that has amenities to it. That could be, what it is it's less headache for you to manage, but it's almost just as expensive. It's like you can have a whole house, which then you'll have to take care of and do all the maintenance on for this price. Let's just say 100,000. Let's just take it random. Or you can have a smaller house, which is a condo, which has 12 or 24 other condos in it, but we'll take care of all that. But you'll have to pay us to take care of all that. So you'll still have to pay 100,000 because of all the other amenities, even though it's not as big as this house. So I feel as though, but it will be comparable to you buying your own house. And I just think there's a lot of social benefit to this move. I feel like it's a little bit outside of the main drag. And I think that you'll be really happy because it's almost like a garden. I hear the word like garden terrace, or like it has gardens to it. It's really beautiful. It's really lush. You don't have to take care of any of the place. And I don't know what they have, a hairdresser downstairs, or they have, I don't know what they have, like these dry cleaning service or something like that. Like it has amenities to it that you really will like, but you own your own place. So I get like just a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think even if it's an over 55 place, you can still share it with your daughter. Yeah,
Well,
you might have to move out
yeah.
to get something cheaper. Let me just go back to the question.
Yeah.
How about you, Paul? I mean, Mark.
Yeah, California's horribly expensive. Luckily, I'd bought a house there ages ago. And so then when I sold mine, it's good to sell a house in California. Not so good to buy a house because my house sold the first second I put it on the market. They didn't even quibble or anything. So I began to think, wait, did I not ask enough? Because they sound so quick. But anyway, so what I hear right away, and I'll say this to my dropping day. This is a great thing to work with the universe on, with Spirit Team. Help them to co-create this for you. And so I get expectation, expect the best. So set your sights on what you want. What will really make you happy? It's not really about the size or the exactly where, it's more about what will really suit you in your retirement, make you happy. You want to get clear on that. What do I want? Do I want a little bit of yard? Do I want it near where my daughter is? Whatever it is. Do I want a pet? Be able to have a pet there and then be able to take care of them. So get clear on what you want and put that to the universe. And then I always say this or that, which is better for me and everyone concerned. Got it? So they want to remind you to do that. That will help you in finding a new place. So you get the territorial finding a new place card. So we know that this is up. The universe knows that's what you're looking for. They also give you bliss, contentment is the hand. So that means you can have what you want. You have to choose it. So that's all put in your mind there, and knowing you can have what you want, and you can move from this stage of life into the next in a happy way. Because I feel like you've been saving towards it and you have some money and stuff like that. Now, having said all that, keep an open mind because it might be a little different than what you got. So I do get improvisation, just make it up and surprise. Oh my God. And both of those cards are telling me it might not be exactly where you're expecting. I feel like, it might not be so much in the city. It's more rural or farther out, or maybe not even in California. I don't know about that. It depends. But there's something a little out of you haven't considered exactly yet, but that might come into your awareness. So when that does, it might be a little different than you've imagined, but take the time to look at it a little closer and see, wait a minute, I hadn't thought about that, but let me look at it. If that's something about, maybe it's something your daughter recommends, or we're going to go in together and get a house that has a guest house or something like that. I don't know, other possibilities. But when something like that comes in, they want you to go ahead, get this card again, trust, and take the leap. So, sometimes the universe will fool you a little, especially when you add that caveat, this or that which better suits me, because it allows them to bring something into your consciousness that you haven't got yet, and so it goes, well, have you looked here yet? This might really suit you. And then as you look there, you begin to realize, oh, that does suit me better. So it's going to be a little bit creative, but I feel like it's going to happen. Choose it.
Yeah, the ability for you to maybe focus on, I will I will get a house that I want, and I will have a place of my own. And I'm grateful for the beautiful dwelling that I live in. I think that there's a lot to that, and even though you and I and the uh, neighbor next door, they all know that the prices are crazy. It doesn't mean that you can't have one.
Right.
It doesn't mean that there's not a gem to be found. It doesn't mean that there's. I don't know if they have controlled rent or controlled like controlled something. Uh, Neighborhoods in your area. I know that there's a lot around here, and a lot of people live in really nice places because they work in really nice places, but the rent is lower because they have this allowed, spot for them, and you have to qualify. So I don't know.
Anything's
Something.
possible, and you never know. So just leave it open. When I bought my house in California, I was not rich. I didn't even know if I'd be able to. But I rented this house from a really nice man, and for whatever reason, he just liked me from the first second, and we just clicked. And then when he got ready to sell the house, he offered it to us first. And if we would buy it, so he wouldn't have to go through the whole big thing, if he would give us a deal and help us put up all these things that I didn't know was possible. And then all of a sudden it made it possible for us to buy a house. So you just never really know. All I know is I had asked the universe to help me in this process. And I believed it would. So you just never know how it'll pan out. Just let the possibilities be there. I'm retired military. Yeah, it probably would benefit you.
Yep, you could qualify. Mm-hmm.
That helps.
Mm-hmm.
It feels good to me, Kelly.
Yeah. All the best to you, Kelly. Thank you very much for that question. It was important. All questions are important, but I was just very drawn to it. Okay, we have Lisa Keller is next. So let me tell you who's up next. Craig, if you're still here, say hello. And Divine Empathic Tarot, if you're still here, say hello. And then Granny B 1961.
Lisa Keller.
Just so you got, okay, Craig is here. Thank you. Okay. I'm sorry. Lisa Keller says, my dad's birthday was yesterday. Does he have any messages for me? And what age is he? I know he can be any age he wants to be. Thank you. Dad's name is Engvall Knutson. Bud. Okay, we'll call him Bud. And he passed in 2004. Okay. And his birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Bud.
I read on Bud before.
Oh, okay.
So I know Bud. Let's see if he could give us a message today. Granny's here. Glasses. Putting on my egghead glasses.
That's funny that you said that. And I think he's a little bit of an old-fashioned kind of guy. He's showing me not him in his 50s, but he wore almost the same thing he wore like back in college or something. Like he would wear the same type of clothes, the same style of clothes, the same style of glasses or whatever. Like he was habitual, and I'm not sure if he even like wore a uniform or something, because he's almost like telling me he didn't have to think about what he put on every day because he liked what he liked, and he wore what he wore. Like it was almost no decision had to be made with what he put on. And it's like, oh yeah, that's typical dad. It's not like he changed or had different styles, or he was very much a one. A, I'm not sure if it was like 50s in the, because he's telling me 50 and I'm also hearing 50s, but I'm not sure if it's like the 50s style, or not style, but like a 50s era influence, or if it was that in his 50s. But I think I'm getting a little bit of both. Like he was who he was, and he was that way all the time. He was, and thank goodness, like, man, you guys don't have so many changes in your styles. Um, but even so, even if he had like wear a thin belt or something, he would always wear the thin belt, regardless if the thick belt came in. You know what I mean? But I think he was a cool dad. I just don't think he was very variable. I'm not sure why he's surrounding this message with fashion, but he's just trying to say that he was very consistent. He was, somebody that you could set your watch to. I feel like he liked mechanics, or liked to um, fix cars, spruce up cars, buy cars, tinker with cars, do body shop with cars, do some. I'm not sure. Maybe even uh, uh, like go karts kind of cars, or something around this that he was very much into. And he may have even like worn white t-shirts, or the muscle shirts, the white muscle shirts. There's something that he just, when it was his style, that was his style. I do see him like moving his hair, so I don't know if he had like hair parted to the side a little bit, or a little bit of a length on the top, but he would move his hair out of his face. I do. He may have had also worn a hat with little straggly hair coming out. Maybe it was curling up around the outside of his hat. Um, but he just wants to thank you for the birthday wishes, and he wants you to know that just because he passed 20 years ago doesn't mean that he's 20 years away from you. That he wants you to know that he's right here with you each and every year, each and every milestone, each and every time that you have a celebration, he comes in close. Um, but it's interesting that you wanted to know about the age. So that's interesting. I'm just going to stop there for Bud, but he's very kind, very loving, very he does seem to be like one that would be to himself a little bit, just because that was his sort of energy. What did you get, Mark? I don't see
Uh,
things.
well, he says to me that he goes, "Well, I don't have to have a physical form." He says, I'm more like energy." But he says, having said that, I can assume a form and be whenever time I want to be. It just depends. He he's given me the image of, are any of you guys old Star Trek fans? Star Trek Next Generation, where they had the holodeck and you could go in there and you could just create any scenario and be in it. He says you can kind of do that. I can create scenarios and be different times. It's like he says, it's different. We're not as bound to one thing. We're more fluid, he says. So it's hard for him, for me. I like for him to say I'm sticking in one age. It's more like he moves around, and most of the time he's in like a spiritual form that you wouldn't necessarily recognize as him right off the bat, he says. But so there's that. Then he says he keeps his eye on you. He's watching you in particular about how well you're doing through this great change on the earth. Those guys are aware of that. I feel like everything's aware of the great change. And he thinks you're doing pretty good. He feels like you're hanging on because there's some concern about the change and how we ride through it. He sees you sort of as the Queen of Cups energy, that you stay pretty balanced, stay in touch with your heart, and you can see why you're there, why you're here now. So he's talking about there you are in the middle, the Queen of Cups, while the old ways are falling down. There's the tower around us. There's a tower moment happening, big tower moment, and an ending. We got the world. So it's a big shift, a big change on the world, a big tower happening on the whole planet, right? So that's the towery part, and that's on one side. The other side, though, is judgment or the resurrection. So it's a whole new beginning. So, you kind of have to fall down, tower, in order to rise up, resurrect, and have a new beginning. So he's just talking about that's like what's going on energetically in the world. And he particularly focuses on you to see how you're doing during that time, because he continues to have a lot of love for you, the lovers. And he does want to say that he still visits you in your dreams. So I don't know if you see him in there, but he's talking about he presents himself in your dreams, and in that he looks like him, a younger version of him. I feel like in your dreams. And that's Knight of Pentacles, because that's just him again saying, I come to you in your dreams. Okay.
That's so cute. I love it. I love it. And Lisa, I'm not sure if any of that resonated with you. And I don't know that your dad, I think I'm sure that your dad knows, but you choose your parents when you come in. Now, Lisa is, okay, don't remember my dreams, wish I could. And Lisa is saying, why am I here? And that's for you and your soul. And it's your dad. I feel as though you chose him in order to incarnate here. I'm not sure that he can see your soul's purpose other than to be incarnated and to be his daughter. I think that, doing a self reflection and checking with your higher self and your spirit guides and your angels to review the why am I here. But we're all here to be light workers and to be have a human experience and to learn lessons and what I mean by learn lessons is to have challenges and to overcome these challenges and to become wiser from these challenges. And it's, forgiveness, love, tragedy and grieving and overcoming all of these things. And each time our soul expands with love, gratitude, and awareness and compassion. And this is a basic reason why all souls come to learn in an earth. But your specific reason, what your vocation is, or why you're here is primarily to be the light for others and to have an experience. How about Mark? Do you have anything else to add to that?
Well, I think in general, our mission, each one of us, if we choose to accept it, is to realize as fully as we're able in this physical body that we are more than this physical body, that we're actually a soul, a spirit inhabiting a body here on the earth. And our opportunity, our adventure, if we want to pursue it, is to realize that. And when you read that, I pulled one card, and it's the Fool. That's that journey that we can take here on the earth. But when you have the faith and trust in spirit to catch you and guide you, so you're not alone. It's about realizing that it's not a lonely journey. Yeah, you do it on your own, but it's each one of us learning who we truly are and what we're here to be. So in one way, I always think that's all of our purpose. And then we do it in different ways and, our own personality and everything. But that's kind of the purpose, is to realize that. And as we do it more and more as an individual, that in turn helps us do it as a group of humanity. That's what we're witnessing now, is the group waking up to that fool's journey as a one, we're all one, right? And so, but it takes us as an individual, so it's a private, personal journey, but then it also assists in the bigger picture, big picture, little picture.
Yeah. So she said, thank you very much. I love my dad very much. And she said, I miss and think about him every day. So I get that. And I just say, I see this here, Lisa, and I see, what does he see? I feel he's saying, what do you see? It's your life to create. We're here on earth to create our lives and to follow our highest bliss. And it's you, instead of looking outside of you, look inside right here and see what you see, to find out why you're here. And perhaps this is just the beginning. I know that you love him and you miss him very much, and that's, you must have had such a close connection with him. I'm not sure if any of those descriptions that I was coming through described him at all, with the hat, with the cars, with the wearing the same outfit throughout his entire life. But he definitely had a very warm, or has a very warm and loving soul, and he is always watching over you, Lisa. But he wants you to go inside and see what you see. What do you see is what I hear him saying. What do you see? I just want to say hi to Wisdom Seeker Joan is here. Hi,
Joan.
Nice to see you. Thanks for coming by and for saying hello. I appreciate that. And Pierrette is here. Nice to see you, Pierrette. And Karen Doyle. Everybody's popping in. I don't know if it's on the hour or what. Okay, so I have Craig, and then Divine, and then Granny. So let me see. Thanks again, Lisa, and all the best to you.
Yeah, can I say a quick little message to Wisdom Seeker Joan while we're?
Oh, sure.
Hey, Joan, I just found, who knows why, what, my brain, a message from your sister that I missed, that she sent me a while back. But no, I just now found it. Maybe she's probably already found a solution, but I'm so sorry I missed it. So I just wanted to put that out there in case you talk to her. She's probably going, why didn't Mark ever respond? Well,
oh. Okay. Okay, so Craig says, my Aunt Carolyn just pissed me off just pissed off some of our family members on the reservation. Now she has nowhere to go. Do you see this getting better for her? I feel as though this is an opportunity for her to grow with humility, and perhaps take a look at her behavior, and to you can only push people so far, but it's almost like I just feel like they bit her back. I feel like she was always doing the biting, and I feel like she got bit back. And I think that this is a lesson, and she's going to have to go through and really do some self-examination and some, consideration as to what her behavior needs to be moving in the future. But this is her own soul's evolution, and whether it gets better for her or not is entirely in her own hands. Just like the problem, or the incident, was entirely in her own hands. How about you, Mark?
I keep getting messages from people about readings. I'm sorry, but yay! Karen, I'm so happy you're meeting your son in 30 minutes. Anyways, I had to give a shout out because that's been something that's been coming up in her life.
Okay, good.
And I'm so happy that that's coming into fruition. Does he know you're coming? Anyway, love you, sweetie. I do send you love and light. Um, it's so hard for me not to notice the things. I'm terrible. Well, she's stubborn as an old wet hen, kind of, for one thing. She's got a real strong stubborn streak. Kind of runs in the family a little bit. Like I would say, with as far as like her family, like it feels like sisters or something. They're all kind of cranky and stubborn sometimes. Um, so, I get this Knight of Pentacles, but it's interesting because it reminds me of like Reservation a little bit. 'Cause
Oh,
it
yeah. Wow.
looks like the Southwest, but I don't even know that that's one of the ones. But I like that this horse is just standing, going nowhere. So it's almost like, yeah, it pushed her out of the reservation. She's just standing on the line, kind of, no movement. I feel like she'll be turning around, coming right back. I don't think she'll be out on her own um, too long, because after that Knight of Pentacles, I got the Ten of Pentacles, and again, here they all. I don't know. This deck seems to be resonating with her in particular, but so I think she'll find her way back. She has to, swallow her pride a little bit. She speaks her mind, without maybe thinking sometimes. And then she kind of like doesn't care. It's like, it reminds me a little bit of people sometimes when they get to a certain age, they kind of think they can just say and do whatever, and it don't really matter if they don't really care what. So it's just a little bit like that. But I know you said she doesn't have any place to go, but I think she'll end up going back where she was. We'll see. Because I don't think this thing is going to give her the outcome she thought. It was sort of like, oh, well, never mind, kind of a thing. We'll see. Let me know, Craig. But I don't think it's going to last too long.
Her being on the outs.
Have a big change and all of a sudden become wonderful, but you know what I mean. I still see, like what Jean was saying, she's got to learn how to deal with things in a different way, or that's certainly the opportunity for her.
Yeah. All the best to you, Craig. So Divine Empathic, is she still here? Because I didn't see her say hello. And Granny B 1961, are you still here? And then Wiki, I do see Wiki, but let me see if Divine or Granny 19. I did call them out a while ago. If not, I do see Wiki. Oh, Granny's here. Okay. So let's go ahead with Granny. Thank you very much. And I guess that Divine had another appointment. So she said, I had a reading 20 years ago, and that's what I was told. It's something I never forgot, but I'll always wonder if it's true. My parents in a previous life was my name Sarah. Oh, in a previous life?
There's Divine Empathic Tarot.
Okay.
I don't think I understand the question.
Yeah, I think we're missing something.
I had a reading 20 plus years. That's what I was told.
Just if her name was Sarah in a past life. Well, Sarah is a very, early American or older name, a very common name. And so it's possible, but let me see. Was Granny ever Sarah in any of her past lives? So was Granny B 1961 any of her past lives? Was she ever named Sarah? I'm getting a yes. And it's very strong. Look how strong that swing is. For sure. Yeah. For sure. That is you. Very strong. That is certain. So this may have come up throughout these last 20 years. and reminded you and almost like tapped you on the shoulder and say, don't forget, don't forget. And something will have sparked your memory and reminded you of that. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know that. So she will go ahead. Let's see what Mark has to say on this, and then I'll see if we can.
All right. So I think that the person that told you that was tuning in to a past life that you had, just because I get Six of Cups, which is the little, the past, when you're a child, childhood past. So it's talking about that. It also looks like a farm kind of. It almost feels like early Americans a little bit. So I'm not going all the way back as far as Jesus, but this feels like that you were a little girl named Sarah. But what about the parents? I'm still a little confused about the question. Because when you're Sarah, I'm not sure you had the same parents that you had this time. One maybe, but I don't know if they were both the same. If that's something you were asking, I'm not kind of getting. There was a mix, and you've been a family that's reincarnated together, but I'm not exactly sure in this Sarah lifetime that they were both your parents. It's interesting. So I don't know. You might get better on this one, Jean.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just trying. I'm going all the way up to see if I can find Divine. Okay, I think I got her. All right, Divine Empathic. I found you. So Granny also wants to know if Jesus and Mary Magdalene were her parents. I don't know if they ever had children, but you want to know, are you the lineage of the human that was known as Jesus or that was incarnated? What the human that was incarnated that we now know as Jesus is Granny in that bloodline, in that human descendant. Is Granny a human descendant of the man, or as the human that was known as? Well, I'm sorry, I'm doing that without me being big. So it is Granny a, a descendant of the human that was known as Jesus. So I'm getting a no on that. And is Granny a descendant of the human that was known as Mary Magdalene? Is Granny a descendant of the human that was known as Mary Magdalene? But it says no, but I'm asking human incarnations, like human bloodline. I'm not saying that your soul did not ever have a incarnation with the soul of either of these souls, and that's a whole different question, and that's what kind of why I was wanting to take this and expand on this, because you're talking about past life as Sarah, but the human bloodline and the human descendant is different than our souls, and our souls could have had um, a lifetime or a lifetime as a descendant from either one of these. Now, has Granny's soul ever been a descendant from uh, the humans or the soul of Jesus? Was Granny's soul? No. Was Granny's soul ever had a descendant from the soul who is known as Mary Magdalene? No. It doesn't mean that you don't have affinity, you don't have familiarity, you don't have memories, you don't have experiences. It's just that your soul, those questions, because these are so specific, whether they were your parents, whether they were your human descendant, whether they were your soul's descendant, doesn't mean that you didn't have awareness or connection to their souls. And on some level, if you're asking the question, I feel as though it's a possibility, but it's like a needle in a haystack. Where and when, who knows? But trust your gut, trust your instincts, trust your intuition, and your what you feel resonates with you in your soul. I think it's important that and perhaps when we find the right question, you'll find the right answer. And I don't mean that to be snippy. I'm just saying that it's really specific information that we're looking for, and it's like a needle in a haystack. But there's a lot of ascended Akashic record readers here on this chat as well. And if you could get an Akashic record reading, that might be able to help you too. So what say you, Mark? Is there anything that you want to add to that?
I get no, they weren't your parents, but this is what I'm hearing. That you were around at that time, but you were more like a disciple, a member of the group, a member of the team. So I get the Three of Pentacles, which tell me you worked with them, with Mary and Jesus. That'd be three of you, and you worked on the ground. You were there in physical form. I hear that. You are like this Page of Swords. You stood up for the message. You passed the message along. You were a warrior for the message that they were giving. I'm going to say you were a disciple. I actually think you were female, because in what Jesus has told me, he had female disciples too. They weren't just men. That's the way that got written, but no. He had just as many female followers as he did male. Then they give me the Wheel of Fortune, which to me is like the wheels of time, that you were there then and you're there now. Then was when, Jesus was really birthing this message of the Christed energy, the divine blueprint for humanity. And now we're seeing it in its fruition, or when the group begins to take it on. So this card is like telling me you were there then and you're there now, trying to see how it turned out on the earth. The other thing I get is if you sit quietly in meditation, you can communicate with them, High Priestess, that you have a connection to them. So you can talk to them both, commune in one way or another with your psychic, with your inner eye, inner voice. So in a way there, in some way, you might think of it as like being their child, because you were a child of the movement, and they were, strong leaders of it. Mary kind of watched over the women, sort of, Jesus with the men, but they were a team, believe it or not. And Mary helped and stuff. And so I feel like you were right there in the group. It seems to me like you saw the whole thing. You saw how it kind of seemed to go to hell in a handbasket. So you get the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. So, Spirit, Earth. And these are both, cranky, arguey, fighting, being left out in the cold. How it sort of went south. Even though ultimately it did what it was supposed to do. But in the moment, watching Jesus die, you thought, oh no, this isn't really good. And I feel like you were probably there, sweetie. But, I don't know.
And a lot of times when the reading says they were, it's important to understand that all of us, including myself, can have confusing or conflicting information. They may have felt like it was connected to you so strongly that it felt like a parent. But it's only the feeling that psychic or the reader would have gotten. It's up to you what resonates with you, what you feel is true, or if you have a pendulum and stuff like that. But that Wisdom Seeker Joan and Mark and myself said you're definitely connected to the souls of those, and whether or not you're an exact descendant in some way, shape, or form was maybe, that's where I get the question is important. You could say, am I related, or do I have any connection to these two souls? Then you would have gotten a different answer. You know what I mean? So the questions are real important. Instead of saying, were they my mom and dad? That's a real specific kind of a limiting kind of a
In
question.
that lifetime and in that experience, you may have looked at them as your father and mother. You know how sometimes we create our own families because your actual mother and father may not have been attuned to the movement or whatever. So these seemed like even more who you would call mother and father. I don't know. That just what came in my brain while Jean was talking.
Cool.
So I could see how that would come through like that, even if it wasn't an actual birth. It makes sense to me. Yeah. Love it.
Yep. Especially if you have this burning desire for the last 20 years that you feel like you're connected. But trust that you're feeling your own instincts mean more than anything. And she's very happy and she's crying, and just to get some validation. And sometimes these things are not known to us until we're ready to be able to accept them and to deal with them.
You'd probably love the book, The Way of the Essenes, Christ Remembered. Because it talks about people that were there during, and I don't know, I think you'd really like that book. I loved it.
Wow. Is it Jesus in the Essenes? Is it the Dolores Cannon?
Right. The Essenes are the ones that wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls. They kind of came into being about 100 years before he was born, and they sort of disappeared about 100 years after he left. So the story and the legend is they came just to prepare for his arrival and to be there for him. And then also to record, because they put all that, they wrote, there's so much in the Dead Sea Scrolls that we don't know, but they were there. And so that book is a real interesting book. It's channeled by two different people. They channeled it separately, a husband and wife, but then when you put the stories together, they blend perfectly. It's a really good book. When I read it, I felt like I was there the whole time. I don't know. It was very moving. But anyway, I feel like Granny would really like it.
Wow. Well, thank you. That's a great recommendation, Mark. And Wisdom Seeker Joan also says the Bible quotes Jesus is calling people my son or daughter.
Yep.
His followers.
Yep. Yeah, that's where I was going to, Joan, with that, is that kind of whole idea that we called them that,
It's the Jesus and the Essenes, Essenes or something. I know that it's spelled funny, and I think it's Dolores Cannon. You did say it was that one, right?
Well, the name of it is called The Way of the Essenes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then subtitled Christ Life Remembered. So it's got a big long title, but you should be able to find it. I loaned mine, and of course they didn't give it back, so I don't have it here to show you. But
yeah. So we're talking about two different books. It's not the Dolores Cannon book. It's
no,
his.
But that's probably good too. I know Dolores Cannon has an awful lot of info that's out there and stuff. She's passed, I know, but she had some info on the Essenes as well. Yeah.
She's got it. She's on it. She's on it, Mark.
Yep.
She's going to be getting chills and her hair is going to be standing up on end.
I like it quite a bit.
All right. So we have Divine next. And thank you very much, Granny, for hanging in there and chatting back with us and keeping us posted. I really appreciate that. And everybody, it's really important to be in here, present, and continuing with the whole conversation, because it does develop, and sometimes people ask a question, but it's not the entirety of the question. And for some reason, I just felt like it was needing to go in that direction. I'm so glad that we did. So Divine Empathic Tarot is here, and then after Divine, if we have time, because Mark needs to go, Mark has another show today at 4 o'clock Eastern. Is that right? And what can people ask at this show?
You can ask anything on that show. Anything, politics, current events, personal question, whatever you want. Yeah.
You can ask him anything, just not the lottery numbers, but you can ask Mark anything.
Ask that, but I'm like, oh no. So far they answer just about anything you ask, but I'm always waiting for the time they'll go, no, I'm not answering.
I always tease you, Mark, because I love when you say that. It just feels so freeing.
Yeah.
It feels, I'm like, I want to go. Yeah, and that's lovely. And he does spend a lot of time with you on that show later on today. So we must go. This might be the last one. I'm not sure how long it'll be. If we have time for Wiki, we'll try and squeeze in Wiki. But and after this show today here, I will also be on later on this evening around 5 p.m. Eastern. And I have Daphne Gilman coming in from Relax with Daphne. That's her YouTube channel. And we're going to be connecting with Tree Spirit. And it's going to be in, it's just come and join us if you're interested. It's going to be really, really high vibrational. And I'm going to have to tape my butt to the chair or something because I love trees. We have a beautiful presentation for everybody. Yeah. Wiki, I know yours is a quick one. So if we have time, we'll go ahead and do it. I just wanted to make sure. So she says, good afternoon. Can I get confirmation on Nick's current feelings? And do you see us getting back together this month? Well, I think you're both hurt. You're both hurt, and he's mad. I think he's mad because he doesn't know how to be. I think that's the way he expresses his pain, his hurt is in anger. And a lot of people do have this confused. I think it may be a little bit longer of a break than expected. I don't see him coming back in the month of June or you two getting back together. You may meet face to face, you may have conversations, but getting back together and being in good graces, I think might take a little bit longer of a break, which is sometimes needed. I mean, sometimes we just need to clear our heads, get our priorities straightened out, have a little bit of alone time, and then come back with more of a understanding and a level head. But can you tell me your first name? I don't want to. Are they going to be getting back together in July? Will they be back together in July around? Will they be back together by August? Yeah. So I think it might be a little longer than you expect, but I do see you two rendezvousing and almost agreeing to disagree or agreeing to not ever go to that extent, and that's whatever. I think it was a party of two. Yeah. So how about you, Mark?
Okay.
You want me to go ahead here? I've healed my hurt past 3 years and worked on me, right? He relapsed and got bad, so I had to leave for a while. When he's sober, he's amazing. He's your daughter's father.
Yeah. Well, Lisa's her name. Hi, Lisa. I don't know that you'll be back together in June, even though today's June 1st. If so, it'd be at the very last second of June. But it feels like it'll take a little bit longer, but it's for the best, though. You don't really want to come back together too soon because he needs a little more time. So a lot of the cards are about you guys being at your separate corners, Nine of Swords, which is, we're still kind of in worry and fret energy a little bit there. you got death, but it's upside down. So to me, that means the relationship's not over. We're still dealing with it, but also, no, yeah, that's what I want to say. It's not over. It looked like it might be, but we're still working on it. We're still trying to find a happy solution, a nice balance. So you get justice. That's what we're still looking for. That includes him. We're both still looking for a peaceful life, resolution, healing. So it's not like I want this to end, kind of a thing. King of Pentacles, though, this is kind of him upside down. So he still needs to right himself a little bit. He's still caught up. He's still feeling a little, oh, look, Granny already found the book. Still feeling a little on the outside looking in. Five of Pentacles. Still on his own journey about this thing. And if it's with alcohol, he's still fighting it, fighting that a little bit. There has been a shift, though. I'm going to say that. A shift for the better. It feels like his intention or his desire to get better is stronger than it has been in the past. So by that, I mean he's more on, more on board. That doesn't mean that he might not slip and stuff, but I do feel like he's making a stronger attempt than before. He's hoping to graduate from this addictive thing and move forward. This Two of Wands. When, a lot of times this would be like a graduation, a promotion, but when you've worked hard and you're going to see how you go from there. So looking for, where do I fit in? So I do feel like he's working for it. I do feel like you guys are going to get back together and things are going to be stronger. He's still in his personal, I would say it's more about himself right now than it is about the two of you. Although the two of you have had your stuff and there's some back and forth that goes on. But right now it feels more about him, his own personal journey. But I have keep up the, keep the good picture, pray, bless him to get through this and get better and see how it goes. But I feel pretty good. I just don't know it's going to happen as fast as June.
Yeah. And I know that you may not have all the information or any control over what he does. I think it's Nick, and he may, he may need the support of medical assistance. I think there may be something to help him recover, and it's not just willpower. It's a medical, physical imbalance that he needs to, and there are things out there to help support that so that he can manage a little easier. I mean, it's these addiction is an illness, you guys, and we need medical intervention, we need compassion, and we need support from the community. I mean, you can't just leave these people out there. Oh, that's what they choose. No, it's a medical need. It's like if you don't have water, what would you do without water? You would die for water. Well,
Yeah.
there is a medical need. There is an imbalance. There is something that needs to be supported inside and looked at in a medical way and in a compassionate way. And I'm sorry I got so huffy about that, but for some reason I feel very strongly about it. It's just, I'm tired of people passing judgment on people that have, challenges like this. It's just, it doesn't make sense. It's not their choice. It's never their choice.
It changes the brain chemistry too. Like it makes your brain think it's helping you by encouraging you to drink. Because the brain goes, oh, this makes them feel better. Drink, drink, drink. So it kind of goes against you and you have to fight that too. It kind of gets into that. That was one of the things that really opened my eyes when I was looking at drug addiction and alcoholism, that it's an actual thing, it's not just made up. And some people it affects stronger than others because they're predisposed or whatever. So, and if you're two of you together, thank goodness you said, oh no, I have to step away because he's relapsed and I can't have him pull me back in, So thank goodness you're strong enough to do that. But in a way that helped him too, that you took that step and said, no, can't be there while you're doing it. That was a good thing.
Yeah, because he needs all his energy to take care of it. But right. I just hope that he has some medical assistance and support. And I wish you and Nick all the best, and you deserve all the happiness that you two know that you have together. I think that's it. We only have 4 minutes. So Mark is on, I am on, Mark is on later on today. And I just want to thank Mark, first of all, for his wisdom, his kindness, his compassion, his joyful way of just being in this world, and his teaching ability and his patience with me and with all of us. I really do enjoy and feel. He makes me feel better about myself, Mark. Whenever I read with you, I love reading together.
I do too, sweetie. I really do. And I look forward to it all the time. So,
and Mark's going to put out some of those animal things. He's going to put them on his community page because I'm going to show him how to do it.
Find them more easily. They're always there. They're in the what do you call those?
Playlist. Yeah.
Called Animal Stories, Animal Tales, actually. And that's tales about my adventures at the zoo with the animals.
Mm-hmm. But it's always fun just to feature a new one in case somebody doesn't know about it.
Because I
it's lots of fun.
And I've been remiss.
And Mark will be on 4:00. And then where will you be after today at 4:00? Are you doing more this weekend or coming up?
Not again until Monday. Animal readings on Mondays at 2. And this week, Debbie's back. So
nice. Very nice. Very nice. Well, on Monday, I will actually be on the Crone Zone. I'm going to be doing, I'm the featured presenter for the Wisdom Circle. And we'll be talking about auric fields, energy, vibration, and more of the same, but with a different twist. So we invite you to come over and take a look at that. There is something else. Oh, I have a private thing on Monday. So, and that's what we have for you today. Thank you all very much. It was a really high, elevated, and much needed questions and answered. I thought each one was very.
Are you still doing Magic Monday on Monday?
No, it's every other Monday. So not this Monday. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's together if we need to move things around, but we're doing it every other Monday.
You announce your own shows.
Hey, you better catch me, Mark. You never know. I may have missed it. I've been known to miss it. Yeah, and I love that Lisa that Granny was able to find the book. Let me just see if I can pop that up. Where did she say? Yes, found, bought. Here, book found, ordered, and on the way. So
good. I think you're gonna like it, Granny. Yeah, I made a big old pot of chili today, so I'm gonna go eat a bowl before my next show.
Wonderful. Thanks again, everybody. Take care. Let me just make sure.
Love ya.
Bye. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you enjoy this content, hit like, share, and subscribe. Remember to click the bell to be notified of future videos. Thanks again.